Hello, all. Good evening to one and all present here, my dear guest, participants, and speaker. I welcome you all to the public speaking workshop, and I would like to personally thank you all for keeping your weekend relaxation aside and have come here to make this event successful. The Chennai International Youth Fest (CIYF) is one of the world's biggest youth conclaves of India, organized by the National Youth Council of India with support of Government of India and Tamil Nadu, United Nations entities, and several other institutional bodies. CIYF pioneered in the year 2017 to create a platform for the youngsters from various streams to showcase and build their interest and talents. CIYF 3.0 was a grand festival that witnessed about 1.5 lakh young spectacular talents across the globe participating in 170 plus events and activities in 90 plus venues. More than 5,000 medals were given to winners and runners up. We are proud to announce that the fourth edition of CIYF is back with a bang. CIYF 4.0 will happen with over 125 plus competitives and non-competitive arts and cultural, fitness, fashion, sports, technical workshops. Due to the current pandemic situation, online events has been conducted. Once everything returns back to normalcy, offline events will be conducted. Now, I would like to welcome and call upon our speaker, Ipshita Meher, HR. A, she's a passionate HR professional who is willing to explore different domains of HR, especially training and development and psychology at the workplace, and who aims to give her best to the organization and wishes to be the great asset for organization. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manupriya. Sorry, Manuprava. Can I see more audiences? I just see some pictures, so would like to see some faces and not just people with their pictures.
Sure, ma'am, but I'm not sure everyone is ready to show their faces because we are all in a home. We are not in a proper state to show our faces.
It's fine. You could switch on. At least I'll feel that I'm not talking to some, a computer screen, and there are people who are present over here.
Sure, ma'am.
I'm not going to start and unless I see some faces because that's not something very, I would say, encouraging for someone who has come for a speaking program or to take a workshop. So I insist all of you, please switch on your cameras and videos, and I would like to see some faces, and then we can start the program. Okay, I could see some. I could see a few now. Now it's good to see a few faces on screen. And thank you so much for switching on your videos. Gives us immense pleasure to see young audience, right? And to know that there are people who are there and they are listening. So first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I know it's a Saturday and at 4 o'clock when you have just had your lunch before 2 hours and then you have come to attend a workshop. So it's a great commitment. And I must say that it's great to hear you all and then see you all, right? Because yeah, it's like you're there to enjoy your weekend and then no, you decided to attend a workshop and not to enjoy the weekend. So yeah, thank you so very much for being here, and then we will start the workshop. So as you all know that this is a public speaking workshop, first of all let me ask you that what do you all understand by public speaking? What is your understanding of public speaking? What is it exactly? You must have come across this word time and again in your life, right? Since you are a kid in your school, and now I think most of you are in colleges and universities. So you must have encountered this word many a times in your life. and sometimes you also have given speeches as a speaker. But what is it exactly? What is public speaking?
Maybe speaking to a large number of people, addressing number of
Okay,
people.
okay, great. Good answer. Anyone else?
We can also say that we are going to create awareness among people when we speak about something that causes a great damage to in a whole environment or a community.
Correct. Yeah. So more or less, yes. Again, you are correct, Banu. Anybody else? Vaishnavi, would you like to give it a try?
uh, Convincing the audience about our viewpoint, like
Okay,
whatever we
yes,
want to
good
speak.
answer. Yeah. So again, I could see two faces only, Banu and Vaishnavi, but I don't know whether you all switched off your cameras or what. So yeah, please do switch on. And I don't want it to be a monotonous speech or something. It should be an interactive session that I want to conduct with you all. So please be cooperative, take part in answers, and that's the only way that we can have a fruitful session. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Let me give you two examples. Okay, the first scenario is when there are a group of people, 3 or 4 people whom you know, they are your closed ones. Probably you have come across those people many a times in life. So they are your known audience, and these are 3 or 4 people in a group. Yeah, and there is this huge number of crowd sitting in auditorium. Yeah, and who are waiting for you to come. And yeah, it's an auditorium kind of a stuff, or the setup is like that. So what do you consider in out of these two scenarios, the first one where you are addressing a group of people, 4 or 5, who are known to you, who are probably your friends, your acquaintances, you are very much acquainted with them, and there is this unknown set of people, thousand plus people in an auditorium who are waiting for you to come and give it, deliver a speech. So out of these two scenarios, which one do you think is a scenario of public speaking?
Addressing thousands of audience.
Okay. Any other answers? Yes. Please go ahead and participate. There is no right or wrong answer. Even if you go wrong, there is nothing wrong about it. So you can always give it a try.
I'm just joined. I didn't listen to the question. That's it.
Okay, didn't understand the question. So, Amber, there are two set of audiences. Okay, the first set of audience is the ones. It's a group of 4 or 5 people, and these are the people whom you know, because out of 4 or 5 people, there are a few of them who are your friends, and there are a few of them who are your colleagues or your acquaintances, right? So these are the people whom you are going to address and give a speech in front of them. Okay, and there is the second set of people, 1,000 plus. They are sitting in an auditorium in a big hall, and they are waiting for you to come and address them, right? So they are unknown to you. You don't know any one of them. So out of these two scenarios, which one is a scenario of public speaking? That's what my question is. I hope it's clear now.
Ma'am, the second
Second
one.
one.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hi,
Shali.
Salini. Yes. Good to see you, and thank you for switching on your camera. Yeah.
Our
So,
second scenario, my opinion, the second scenario, it is a public speaking in front of 1,000 members or 2,000 members, which
okay.
are all unknown persons.
Okay. Okay. Great. So thank you for
Thank you.
participating, and it's great to hear your answers. We always have this preconceived notion, and whenever we think of this word public, we think that okay, there is a large crowd waiting for us to speak, and that's what public speaking is. But that's not exactly the truth. The truth is, whether it's a set of audience, group of people, whether it's 4 or 5 or 3 or 500 or 1,000 or millions of people, whoever it is, whether whenever it is a set of people, a group of people, it could be small or large in numbers, it's always public speaking. So both cases number one or scenario number one and two belong to the category of public speaking. Whether these are known people or unknown people, doesn't matter. As long as you're addressing a set of people or group of people, it is known as public speaking. So remove that idea of yours that it always has to be a big crowd and a large crowd and huge number of people. No, it certainly doesn't. Whenever you are in an office or you're giving a presentation to your colleagues where there are 5 or 6, 7 board members, or whether there are people who belong to your team, you are as a manager giving a presentation or telling about or pitching about an idea. That could again be an example of a public speaking, right? So it does not necessarily have to be large number of people, right? So yeah, my next question again is, why is it important to even master this art or to be a public speaker or even to learn this skill? Do you even think that it is a necessary skill, it is important to learn?
Yes, ma'am, of
Yes,
course,
ma'am.
because communication requires clarity or else it never serves a purpose, ma'am. This waste of
Okay,
talking.
very good answer.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, Kalyani, yeah.
It would convey our emotions and what we are thinking, ma'am. So it is very essential skill for us.
Correct. Yes. Yes, Asma, I agree. Anybody else? Please go ahead and give your answers. I'll be waiting for your answers and I want to hear you all. Okay, only two answers.
If we have a great cause that we want to fight for or we want to express it about, and I at that point maybe we need public speaking skills a lot, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So is it
In pu-
always important to have a great cause and then only you can
No,
become a
I
public
didn't mean
speaker?
it in that way. I'm just saying if we have a thought about expressing our thoughts to the world about something that's really going on and hindering us, and we make an awareness about it. So I think that needs a proper skill set to communicate with everyone.
Correct, correct.
and
Yes,
and I
you
think
are correct, Banu.
I think
Yes,
public speaking can be helpful in our day-to-day lives also, in our
yes,
friend
very
groups
much.
or any place we go. It will be helpful for us.
Correct. Yes, very much. So it happens easily with your friends and people whom you know, because there is a certain level of comfort that you share with people and you don't have that nervousness when you don't feel the same kind of discomfort or nervousness when you go or to address a large number of crowd or large number of people. But again, I can tell you n number of examples when it is even difficult to express your ideas and feelings in front of your friends or acquaintances. So my next question is, how many of you had been a gathering of people whom you know, maybe personally, professionally, and but still you struggle to put across your ideas, put across your thoughts? Have you ever been in such kind of a situation?
Ma'am, I think for every student, the public speaking chance comes during our school assemblies, ma'am. So one of that
Correct.
was for me, ma'am. That the first time I felt difficulty, from after onwards I started practicing. Then it was very easy for me. If someone asks, I will say first. Now it became like that, ma'am.
Correct, exactly. So we all have been through that kind of an experience. And trust me, the first one is the toughest one. And when we break the barrier of the first time when you go to stage, you go with a lot of nervousness. There is a number of thoughts going on in your mind, like, what will the people say? Will I be able to perform really well, or will my speech even have an impact? So but when you exactly go to the stage and face the crowd, the kind of confidence you develop over time is enormous. Okay. So what you need to do is just go and face the crowd and you will see the wonders happening to you. Okay. So that is one thing. But we will also discuss the different aspects of public speaking. Let me share my screen and show you something. Is it visible to you all, children?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, as you know, it's a public speaking workshop. So, next is the why part. Before I show you, I would also again would like to know from you, as in, why is it important to, you know, to learn this skill, to learn this art? So we have already discussed, and here is the answer. So it helps you develop your growth. It helps you in your growth, as in what sense growth? So what you were yesterday, what you are after being a public speaker, there is a huge amount of difference, because then you develop some skills which is very necessary for, especially in this world, to survive, right? So you grow. I can give you an example. When you appeared, all of you who have been to different kind of stages and have been public speakers, as in when you were a kid in your school and you appeared your first assembly speech, or whatever kind of speech you gave for the very first time, and when you were a young adult and addressed some other crowd at very other platform, at different platforms. So the kind of improvement you have been through is something which is noticeable, which is notable. So that's what I mean by self growth. You grow with every single experience of public speaking, right? So that's what it does to you. And you become confident when you face the crowd, when you face a group of people from the very first time. You are very nervous, and that's very, very normal, right? And when you face the crowd or the set of people for the second time, you become more confident. Again, you become more confident when you face the crowd for the third time, and it goes on and on and on. So that's what it does to you. It makes you more confident. It helps you in shaping your personality to become more confident, to come across as an individual who has a content to share with the world, or with the group of people, or with a group of people, right? It also makes a difference in your life. Whatever you choose to do, whether it's in your personal life, in your career, or in your business, you flourish as an individual, because you have a skill set which helps you to put across your thought in the best possible way in front of a group of people, right? And you stand out in a crowd from rest of the audience, or from the rest of the crowd, because you are someone who is able to convince people or inspire people, or or to entertain people, right? By giving a speech, or by being on the stage. So that's what I mean by standing out in a crowd. You actually stand out in a crowd, and you make an impact in the minds and hearts of the people through your words. And that is very, very powerful. Not everyone in this world has it, right? So I'll stop sharing, and we'll also go to few other discussions. Okay, so yes, that's what I was talking about. So these are the skills helps you to become the best version of yourself, and you are not that naive and that gullible person anymore, because you have got the skill set, or the power, or the art to articulate your words and to present it in front of a set of people, or a group of people in the best possible way. And that's a huge and a great skill to have, right? So that's what I meant by mastering this art, and that's what it does. These are the benefits of learning public speaking. And let me also tell you or ask you a little bit about, why is it tough? We have this perception that it's tough.
Ma'am, actually, the voice is not clear, ma'am. The question you asked
Is
didn't
it so?
reach properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's okay, ma'am. But the question you
Okay.
asked didn't reach us properly.
Okay, sure. I'll repeat. So we all have this perception that it is very tough, that it's very hard to master the art of public speaking. We are scared of it. But why? Why are we scared of it? Why is it tough?
Because we have never tried it, ma'am. Like we have
Yes.
always been in a comfortable zone to just talk with our friends, gossip, share our thoughts. But
Yes.
when it comes to a larger group where we don't know anyone, but and still we want to give our thoughts and like express our thoughts to someone. So there comes the fear of, it's morely about judgment, ma'am. Like, what would they judge, what would they say, what would they see? It's like that.
Correct. Correct, Manu. Very much. You are very correct when you say that it's more about judgment, it's more about how people are going to perceive us and how they look at us when we are on a stage, because we become that center of attraction all of a
Specimen, like.
sudden. Yeah, that limelight is on you, right? So when you are on stage, so that's the these are the few things, and there is a bit of psychology attached to it that we all are scared of. Most of us are. And I'll also tell you about one of those words which is called, but that I'll tell you later. Before that, I would like to ask you this question and then I'll introduce that word to you. So, how many of you have fears? It could be any fear. It could be fear of failure, fear of, water, fear of darkness, fear of anything. For me, especially, I'm very scared of height. Like, if I have to climb up a tower or something which is very high tech, then I'll get scared. These are fears that we all have. Some of us are scared of lizards, insects. So I would like to know that, uh, what are your fears? Let's share a few. Not yet identified, Vamsi. Okay. Or aren't you scared of anything? You are not scared of anything till date?
I'm scared, but to be particular, it isn't like anything like to be particular. Like as
It
everyone
could
gets
be
scared of
anything.
seeing
It could be
some
anything.
things, I get scared of those things. But there's no particular thing that I'm scared of. Like
Have
the
you
whole.
ever been, have you not been scared of failing in the exam? What if it doesn't come out well?
No, no.
Or important events in your life you have never been scared of?
Coming to exams, I've never been scared of, ma'am.
Okay, good point. So you're yet to figure out, right? As in what you are scared of.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, not a problem. Anyone else? Anybody else who has figured it out, who knows that this is what I'm scared of, and you're working on it, something of that sort?
Ma'am, fear
Fear
of conjectured spaces.
Fear of
Conjectured spaces.
conjected space. I didn't get you, Vaishnavi.
Ma'am, fear of congested places like
Oh,
enclosed
conjected.
spaces, claustrophobia.
Okay, okay. So you have claustrophobia, and when did you realize that you have this?
Ma'am, one day when I was stuck in lift due to a power cut, that
Okay,
was
great.
very terrifying.
So okay, then that's where you realize that you have a fear of congested places, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Anybody else who has any fear and would like to share?
Ma'am, I'm scared of horror movies, ma'am. I know it's still animated and
Okay,
VFX effects,
you're
but
scared
still,
of horror movies.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
And at last, if they
some
put
many of
saying
us
that based on true events,
used
I
to.
still get more scared.
Yeah, yeah, that's there. Nice. Good to hear your fear too, Kalyani. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
I can say, ma'am, I really had a very big interest towards MC, but now, yeah, I was scared about what I'm going to be judged, well, about my pronunciation, the way I speak, my voice. Will there be any suggestions and judges about it? But now, yeah, I have overcome it and I'm speaking really confident about that.
So you had a fear about what you told
Like
Banu?
speaking publicly, ma'am.
Okay, speaking publicly. That's great that you have overcome it, and congratulations for doing so. And thank you so much for sharing your fear, Banu.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody else?
Ma'am, fear of speaking in
Okay, I'll come to Kanitha first, and then I'll hear Faiz Ahmad.
Ma'am, my
Yes,
name is
Kanitha.
ma'am.
Your name is
Jnanita, ma'am. Jnanita.
Nanita, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry, dear, to pronounce your name incorrectly. So sorry. Yes, Nanita. Yes, go ahead and tell me. What's your fear?
Ma'am, fear of speaking in English, ma'am.
Fear of speaking in English. Oh, yes. I think we all, most of us have that because English is a language that we do not grow up speaking, and it's a foreign language at the end of the day. And we have to pick it up because of so many other reasons, because it has become a part and parcel of our life, right? So, but yeah, I think most of us Indians do have this fear, and thank you for admitting, Ganita. And I'm sure that you will overcome it over the period of time. Yeah. Yes, Fez. Go ahead. What's your
Ma'am,
fear?
I'm fear of being alone, ma'am, because whenever I'm alone, I do some things that I regret it later.
Yes. That's again a fear. I think even I've been through a phase where especially this pandemic when you are isolated, not with people. That's again a kind of fear which creates stress and anxiety, but we'll overcome it. Thank you so much, Fez, again for admitting the fear. I think we all have
Thank
some
you.
sort of
Yes,
fears, right? Yes, Fez, you were trying to say something.
I said my name is Fayaz, not Faiz.
Okay. Again, I'm so sorry for
Okay,
pronouncing
okay,
your
okay.
name correctly. Yes,
I
Fiaz. Yeah. So yes, we all have some sort of fears that we have either identified, or some of us are yet to identify. What are the fears, right? And some of us have overcome all our fears, but the most important part is I'm going to introduce you to a word which is related to public speaking and fear of public speaking. So, do you know that according to a research conducted by United States of America, 88% of people all around the world have this fear of public speaking. They are literally scared of public speaking, and some of them even went on and said that it is for them. It is like going to the deathbed, as if they don't perform, it is like they are going to die. It is as intense as the fear of death. Can you imagine that? Public speaking fear, the fear of public speaking is as intense as the fear of death for some of them, for some of the respondents who went on and responded. So yes, it is a fear for many of us, and the word for it is glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. There is a lot of psychology which is attached behind it. And as a common man or a woman, what you must have heard over the period of time is that is because we all are human beings and we are very conscious about how people perceive us, what kind of judgment we are going to receive from the people. And when everyone is looking at us, and all of a sudden, from our comfort zone, when we are pushed on into something or to a space where everyone's eye is on us, then we become very conscious. We want to perform our best, we want to give our best. And with that fear, with that thought going on in our mind, there is a lot many things which happens. We develop the nervousness, we get stuck while we are speaking because of so many other reasons. And there is so much and what are the things which goes behind your mind when you actually go ahead and deliver a speech in front of a large crowd, right? So that is there, but the best part is I'll tell you how it works. So the first time you'll be very scared, maybe as a kid or maybe as someone who is going to face the crowd or going to be on stage for the very first time. You'll be scared. The moment you beat that fear of yours, you will feel like as if you have reached on Mount Everest, as if you have done something extraordinary. The entire world will change for a while. For the moment when you do it and when you go ahead and do it, you will feel a lot more confident. You will feel you are a different person after giving that 5 minute speech, because that changed. The feeling that you had before 5 minutes and the feeling that you will have after giving the speech of 5 minutes is very different. You'll be a different person altogether. You'll feel that I give you, and I challenge you for this, those of you who have not been to a stage and have not done it, please go ahead and do it. Even if you get stuck somewhere, even if you do not deliver the speech as you imagined, it'll give you the confidence, it'll change your mindset, and I promise you that. you know. So that's what it does. The beautiful thing about public speaking is when you are scared for the first time, your intensity of nervousness or the intensity of your scaredness will be very, very high. But when you go ahead and do it, the intensity will decrease. When you again face the crowd, when you again go on a stage, again it will decrease. Of course you'll be nervous, even for the second time, even for the third time you'll be nervous, even for the fourth time you might be nervous. Whenever there is an important event in your life and you want to make it a mark, let's say for example you want to give a presentation in front of your boss, or because he or she is the CEO of your company, you want to pitch in for something, and that project is very, very important for you, right? It can be a deal breaker for you. Maybe you will be promoted after that presentation, so of course you'll be scared because this is a very important event of your life, and way. And little bit of nervousness is always good. It is welcomed. So it is good to be nervous, but not too much. Little bit of nervousness is good to have, right? And then that's the reason you have nervousness. And if you don't have, again, it's a not so good thing, because that's where the overconfidence comes in, and you think that okay, I'm all prepared and I'm going to rock it. Not every time it happens. So little bit of seriousness, little bit of nervousness is good to have. But what I'm trying to say is that when you face a crowd again and again, whether it's a set of people who are known to you, or whether it's a group of people who are totally unknown to you, you develop that confidence, you develop that belief in yourself that I can do it. And students, it does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Tomorrow I just wake up from my bed and say, okay, I'm going to be the best public speaker in the world and I'm going to win the world. It doesn't happen. Every single day I need to put some effort. If not every single day, every time you get a chance to be in the public eye or to address a group of people, just go ahead and do it, whatever form it could be. And that's the only way you can excel, right? So over a period of time, you will develop the skill, you will develop the art of how to do it, when to do it, what to speak, what not to speak, right? So again, I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts about public speaking, what to do and what not to do. And I'll share this PPT with you again. So why public speaking is tough, I asked you this question, and let me again answer you this for you. So it needs continuous practice. As I said, it is not going to happen overnight. So we need to have, or we need to give attempt to speak in front of the public again and again. The more you do it, the more people consider it tough because it requires consistency. It requires continuous practice. The second one is people consider this as the greatest fear in life, known as glossophobia, which I told you. That many people have this fear of public speaking, which is psychological thing. And of course, there are many other things which are attached to it, be it judgment, be it passing the comment, be it how you are going to perceived in the eyes of people, right? So that's why people fear it, right? So again, that's one of the reason why people consider it tough, and it doesn't happen to you or it doesn't come to you overnight. So this is again one of the reasons why it is tough. It takes time, but the journey of public speaking is worth your time and effort. So of course it is not going to happen to you overnight, but it is something which will happen to you eventually, and it is worth your effort and time. I see some faces. Or are you all getting bored? You can be frank and tell me honestly that what exactly you're feeling. I'll again
No,
show my screen. So here we go. I want to see faces, children. Please switch on your videos and show up, because it feels like as if we are interacting with the live audience who are present and not just behind computer screens. I could only see Banu and Vaishnavi. Whenever I ask, they switch on the cameras. Yeah, and then I can see Sushma now. Please go ahead and switch on. I
It's
feel
just
really
difficult
good.
for us, ma'am. We didn't even get ready to sit in front of you. We look like total. You look
Okay.
really gorgeous, ma'am. But us, we are not the same. So it's making
No,
difficult.
please, no. I would, I draw a lot of energy from my audience, especially from the young ones like you. So it gives immense pleasure to see you all. Again, I see switched off videos. Please keep it on, and it feels so good to see you all. So I'll again share my screen, and here we go. How many of you know this personalities? Just let me know. So, okay. So, have you ever come across these personalities? Who is the first one? The
Barack
one with
Barack
the
Obama.
Barack Obama.
yeah, so correct. Yes, it's Barack Obama. And how many of you have heard him speaking? Have you heard any of Barack Obama's speech? Children, are you there? I can't hear any
Ma'am,
voice.
just a 5 minutes one,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Just a 5 minutes clip.
Okay, okay, but you have heard him speaking, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
yeah.
Great, great. Good to hear that many of you have heard his speeches and you have come across his speeches, right? So, yes, so Barack Obama is one such personality who won the election just because he was outstanding in it. He could put across his point and could convince the nation, America and the people of America that he is the right candidate for you. And how did he do it? Because he has mastered this art of public speaking. So he is one such example of amazing public speakers. And can you see the picture which is next to Barack Obama? Do you know who is he?
Jawaharlal Nehru.
Correct, very correct. So it's Jawaharlal Nehru who is the first Prime Minister of India, and even when he became Prime Minister, he addressed the nation, and the nation still remembers his speech. Again, he is someone who comes across as a great public speaker to the nation. He has influenced the nation time and again, and he'll always be remembered as one of those who had great oratory skills, who had the ability to convince and inspire people, right? And what about the third image?
Mahatma Gandhi.
So correct. Yes. Who else can uh, can we all not agree with the fact that this man has influenced the entire nation, and because of this man, we all got independence, freedom. And how did all happen? Just because he could convince people that that's what we need to fight for. It was not an easy job through his speeches, through his oratory skills, through by putting his point across in front of the people. He made sure that he convinced all those young generations and youngsters to fight for the nation. And then eventually we all got freedom. We all got our independence, right? That is a skill that this man had mastered at a very early age in his life, I would say, right? And that's he has performed extraordinarily in it. And what about the one who is next to Mahatma Gandhi?
John Kennedy.
Correct, exactly. It's John F. Kennedy. So he is again one of the presidents of America, and when it's come to leadership, he was also one of those who could influence people to a great extent. And again, he is known as one of the great public speakers. So I showed you all these images because I want you to recognize the impact that these people had on the lives of others, because they were extraordinary in it. They had mastered the art of public speaking, and see the kind of impact they have. They could be the great orators. They could be the ones who have the ability to influence thousands of minds, and young ones, we would have never been able to get freedom without the slogans and chants of Mahatma Gandhi. I've heard he used to go to places and address the young ones, the young gatherings, and made he made them realize the importance of freedom. And they were so much inspired that by his words, that the youth of India did not even think twice before joining the freedom movement. They just went ahead and do it because that kind of impact he could have by his words. Right. So that's the reason I wanted you to see all these personalities and people. And I also want to tell you that uh, right now we spoke about inspiring speeches, we spoke about influencing people. But as a public speaker, you have varieties of genres you can explore. You're not supposed to limit it to just one genre, whether it's inspiring people or motivating people. There are different kind of public speakers you'll find in today's world, and especially the public speaking is divided into different categories, different types. These are the views. One of them is inspiring speech or motivational speech, where you go ahead and motivate people, inspire people, and your words have an impact in their life. The other one is the one which is informative speech. You inform people about, so someone who is a great news reader, or someone who has done a good analysis of what is happening happening around us in the world, he or she goes ahead and tells us about the current situation and keeps us informed about what is happening, then it would fall under the category of informative speech, because he or she is informing us about the facts and figures and statistics, right? So again, that is a different kind of speech. So one is inspirational, one is uh, informational, the other one is entertaining speech. So you must have come across those stand-up comedians, people who make you laugh till your stomach aches through their speech. How do they do it? So that is their art. So that again is another kind of a speech where they make you feel laugh, they make you laugh, and they entertain you through their words, through their speeches, and you enjoy their speech because they could make you laugh. So this is again one of the other kinds of speeches which comes under entertaining speech. There is one more speech which is called persuasive speech. Now, what is a persuasive speech? Where you go ahead and pitch in for something. Let's say you are a travel agent for of a company, and you are talking about the travel package that you have for the audience. Now, how will you go ahead and do it? You talk about what the package has to offer. It comes to the audience at this and this price. And if you avail this price, these are the benefits that you are going to have, right? So, what are you trying to do is to pitch in for that product or the service, right? So that's where it becomes persuasive speech. You persuade your audience to buy the product or to avail the service, right? So that is again a different kind of speech. So these are the major kind of categories of speeches that you will come across. I'll again share my screen and will show you that you will come across in today's world. So yes, one is informative, one is inspirational, one is persuasive, and the other one is entertaining. These are not the only categories, but these are the broader umbrellas, I would say, to which the different kind of speeches fall into. These are the major categories of speeches that you will come across, especially in today's time. Yeah. So you can have a note or take a screenshot if you wish. And then let's move ahead to the next segment. And some of the do's and don'ts and things to remember when you give a speech, right? What are the do's and don'ts? So, whenever you go ahead and face a crowd, these are the few things I want you to take note of and to remember. So, first thing first, what do you think is the most important thing for a speaker to know? The first thing, the very important thing when you are delivering a
Body
public speech.
language.
Okay, okay. Yes, that is one of the parameter, Bhagirathi. Good one,
You
good
should be
point.
clear with these points, ma'am, first of all.
You should be clear with your points. Very good, excellent point. That's true. Uh,
Our expression also, ma'am, like in the way we speak also we express our thoughts, so
True,
our
true.
facial expression and the voice expression plays a major role. If we speak with a, like bored kind of voice, it'll never be an interesting one to do, and it'll bore out the people who listen also. There should be those ups and downs in the voice notes to make it more
Correct,
interesting.
correct. Very correct. You're absolutely correct, Banu. Again, this is something which is very important in public speaking: your voice, your tone, your body language, your expressions. Anything else?
Confidence
Ma'am,
and eye
one
contact.
point.
Audible.
Yes, yes, very much. Very, very good point, Vaishnavi. Your confidence, it should be visible when you are speaking to people. People can sense it whether you are confident or you are nervous when you are on stage. And again, your, what you said, the second one, eye contact, right?
Eye contact. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So suppose if I speak to all of you like, so students, how was your day? Did you all enjoy? I'm going to talk about public speaking today. I think I'll be a good speaker. Will any one of you listen to me? Where am I looking at? Where is my audience? Now, it's an online platform, right? But when it is a setup which is very closed, where you face people in person, it's very different. Now I'm looking to the screen, and that's the reason I wanted you all to switch on your cameras, because there you only look up to the screen. But it's very, very important, children, to have you're talking to that person, you're talking to that audience of yours, and you are not just speaking to some walls who are there, which are there, or some objects which are there in the room. You are speaking to people and they can sense it. So eye contact again is very, very different. I think you all know the art of public speaking. You just need to experience it. Any other point?
Ma'am, when we speak, we should give a little bit of time so that audience can first grasp all the points we said and relate to that so that they can listen like, with an interest.
Correct. Giving time by this point of yours, what I remember is pauses. Many of us, what happens when we go ahead and deliver a speech, we just rush through what we have prepared. This and this happened, and I'm going to talk about this topic. This prime minister was born in this year. He was born in this place, blah blah blah, and then we just rush through the sentences and the script that we have prepared. But that's not how it should be. You need to have pauses in between. You need to intrigue the audience and think and let or give them a moment to think, to digest what you are talking of, right? So again, taking pauses and let your audience think is again very important when you are giving a public's when you are addressing a public. Okay. uh, so let me tell you the very, very basic thing, and which is very important: to know the why of your speech. First of all, you need to figure out the why of your speech. And what do you mean by why of your speech? Why you are delivering the speech, that should be very, very clear, right? Why am I attending this workshop? What is my intention behind this? I should be very, very clear about the why part. So my intention behind attending or taking this workshop is to make my young audience aware of what public speaking is and how it is going to help them in their life, and what are the things which they should keep in mind when they are going to deliver a speech in front of a public. These are the things I want to focus on, and I'm clear about my why. So, whenever you give a speech, whether it's an inspirational speech, whether it's an informative speech, that's where you will get the type of your speech, right? That why you are delivering the speech, whether you want to inform about something to the audience, whether you want to inspire the audience about something, whether you want to entertain the audience about something, or whether you want to sell a service or a product to the audience. Why you are delivering a speech, that why should be very, very clear when you deliver a speech, right? the second one the second one is about knowing your audience, right? So I'll give you an example. Okay. Let's say that I'm going to talk about COVID-19. to a set of people who are from chawls, right? You have heard of this word chawls, or who are from the roadsides, who stays on the road. And what is the other word that we use for chores? It is slum, okay, who are from slum and who are from chores, and they live in that kind of an environment. And I'm going to talk about and inform about COVID-19 to this set of people. And I have one more set of people who belong to bungalows, who live in big apartments, who are staying in very luxurious kind of a setup. And again, I'm going to talk to them about COVID-19. So these are the two set of people I have: the first one who live in chawls, and the second one who are living in bungalows. So do you think that the content or the way that I'm going to address this people or the audience is going to be same?
No, ma'am, it can't be the same.
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, yes, but why it can't be same?
Ma'am, because their lifestyles are very different. So the information you might give to the slum may not be relevant to the people who are living in bungalows.
Exactly, exactly, very correct, very correct.
And
Yes,
even the
Bala.
language, ma'am, we consider English as almost like everyone can understand, but we can't expect the slum people to understand, ma'am. So it will be better if you communicate with the, ma'am, the state language there, whichever state.
Yes, yes. So there are very different things that we need to consider. There are various aspects, right? The first is, like Vaishnavi said, that they are people who have different kind of lifestyles altogether. They are poles apart if we consider the way they live or perceive things. So if I go ahead and talk to the people who are living in slum, use sanitizer, they might not have heard of this word sanitizer. If I go ahead and tell them maintain 6 feet distance, for they are living in small rooms where 6 feet of distance is a big dream for them, right? They do not have the luxury. So this kind of advice might not be very relevant to the people I'm addressing in the first scenario, right? Language, what I'm talking about, they might not be so informed about COVID 19. Whereas my second set of audience might have heard, researched about what COVID 19, what is the current situation of the country, how the government is taking measures to curb it. So they might be very well informed in comparison to the first set of audience. So there are n number of factors I have to take into consideration when my audience are different. So it is very, very important. And whether it is when you are trying to inform, or let's say if we also have to take into consideration about age group of people. So let's say that you're talking about you know Valentine's Day is the topic, and you are going to talk about Valentine's Day to a very young audience who are in their 20s, 90s, who are about to celebrate their Valentines and who enjoy celebrating Valentine. Now you are again going to address a set of people who are in their 60s, the elderly ones, the senior citizens, and you are going to talk to them about Valentine's Day and the importance of Valentine's Day, let's say. Do you think that your context is going to be same in this case?
It might be same, ma'am, but not totally, because to the older set of people, they have already lived it. To the younger ones, they are just maybe they're starting or just searching also. So we that varies, ma'am.
Exactly. So your set, your audience matters. The young ones who are in their 80s, who are in their 90s and 20s, they will be the ones big who are about to celebrate their life. For them, it is a day which is very important, right? And for them who belong to the old category, they might not even relate to this day. What is this Valentine? For us, the significance of love is very different than it is today, right? So for them, that's how they perceive. So whatever you are speaking to this set of audience and to this set of audience, this is very different. That you will have to take in mind, whether it is about people who belong to different geography, people who belong to different age group, people who belong to different social setup, you need to take this into consideration when you deliver a speech. So that's why knowing your audience, what is the taste of your audience, and what the audience is expecting from you is very, very important again, right? The third one is have a great stage presence. Now, I don't know how many of you have come across such things, but when I was in school, I was in high school and in college. So there was the first time when this election campaign happened, and one has to represent, and volunteer for election campaign. So I have come across such friends of mine who volunteered and who stood in the election. So there were college elections happening, and I was so mesmerized by one of those friend of mine who talked about what kind of changes he is going to bring in once he becomes the president of the college. And it was a very powerful and impactful speech. He got all the votes from the college. Now, when he entered the room, there was a kind of aura that he created, and he gave us a sense or feeling that he could be the right fit for this presidency, for this position. Now, how do you do that? It's a skill. Again, it takes a lot of your efforts, and then eventually you do it, right? So it's also about your presence, your body language, how you carry yourself, what kind of vibes you're giving to people when you enter the room, right? That speaks a lot. So having a great stage presence is again very, very important, right? So it is a part of your personality. So maintain your personality and at the same time, send across a message just by your body language, just by your presence. That is a skill that you will develop over time. Okay. So that's again something which is very important. Now, know your assets. Know your assets. So what I mean by knowing your assets, this is an online setup, right? So what are my assets to deliver a speech here? Whether I have access to Google Meet or not, whether I have good internet connectivity or not, whether I have a receiver or a headphone or a earphone, which could be a good media for me to communicate with my audience, right? Whether I have a good lighting in my room, whether I have a good background, all these things, because these are the things which will have an impact in my audience, on my audience, right? So these are the things I should take into consideration. So these are my assets: my internet, my internet connectivity, my earphone, lighting in my room. All these things are assets to me at this point in time. Now, when you are going to deliver a speech offline, it's a huge auditorium. There is a large crowd waiting for you. So, what could be your asset? You need a mic to address so that your voice could reach to the last bench of the audience. If there is no mic, then your show will be a flop. Or either you'll have to raise your voice very much, too much, so that you are audible to the last row in that hall, right? So that becomes your asset. Whether you have proper setting in that hall or not, whether there is proper ventilation, lighting, all these things becomes your asset. Whether you are going to give a ppt presentation, or whether you are going to show them a chart, or whether you do not require any of this, you're simply going to go ahead and speech. So this all becomes your asset. So knowing your gadgets, knowing your asset is very, very important again when you deliver. So it is a kind of setup, so it matters too, right? The next one is know your voice modulation, facial expression, body language. As you all said, these are again important skills to have. I simply cannot go ahead and make a poker face, mm, like this, and expect people to get inspired by my speech. I should have that energy. I should have that courage. I should have that, that aura to inspire my people. If I'm going to go ahead and talk about something which is very inspirational, I just cannot go ahead and say that people get inspired by me. People are not going to get inspired by me if I go ahead and make a poker face, if I do not present it the way it should be presented, right? So again, these are the things that we need to keep in mind where we'll have to deliver a speech. Okay. I'll show so that if you want to take a note, you can. Quickly, I'll present my screen. Is it visible to you? Children, can you see?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I will show you from the beginning. So we spoke about why public speaking is important. It is important for your self growth, confidence, personality development, to make a difference in your life, career, and business, to stand out in a crowd, and to make an impact through your words. Now, why public speaking is tough? Because it needs continuous practice, it needs consistency. People consider this as the greatest fear in life, known as glossophobia. It does not come to you overnight. It takes time, but the journey of public speaking is worth your time and effort, as I said earlier. And these are the personalities we spoke about because they will always be remembered by history for their speeches they have given. And we also spoke about different kinds of speech, different types of speech, and things to remember, which we just discussed while delivering a speech. Last but not the least, this is the message I have for you all, my dear audience, which is just go ahead and face the crowd, give it a try, and I'm sure you are not going to regret it. And this is the only way you can master the art of public speaking. This is not a rocket science. The more you try it, the better you get at it every single day. So I hope that I have, and this brings us to the end of my talk. There is a lot to speak about public speaking. As I said, it is not something which we can do overnight and master it. So it takes consistency. It requires practice. It requires your effort every single time. But yeah, it's just a stepping stone for you all to get introduced to the world of public speaking. I would also like to hear from you about your experiences and what how have you been perceived by this world of public speaking. Has it ever affected your life in any way, or how you want to take your career ahead or your life ahead to by mastering this skill of public speaking? You can give your points. You can also ask me your questions. We still have half an hour more to answer your questions. I'll be happy to address your questions. And also, one last question from my end. Have you ever come across someone who inspired you or who had an impact on you? Maybe it could be someone whom you have seen in real life, whose speech you have heard, and you were just stunned by the personality that person had, and the kind of speech he or she delivered, and you were so awe of that person and the kind of speech he or she delivered. So, has it ever happened to you? It has happened to me when I was a teenager, and that's where my interest towards public speaking came in.
Yes, ma'am, it has happened to me.
Okay, that's great. Please share your story, Banu.
So this was about when I was in my 12th standard. So here, the speaker is. I'm really sorry. I don't even remember his name, but his speech and his content is something I remember. He has learning difficulties, but he still managed it with all the life difficulties which he had to go on with. And yeah, now he's in really a high post in the government of India. I'm really sorry, I'm not able to remember the name and
That's
the
okay. That's
person's
okay.
position. Yeah, so
So,
that really inspired me a lot. So
do you remember
it
any
was
lines from his speech? Something that rang in your head again and again, and you couldn't forget his words. Any glimpse of his speech or something?
he was interviewed by the in Times of India, and he actually said the 12th his 12th marks were just 12th or 10th, I'm not sure. It was only about 79%. It was 79 percentage. But I guess in the news, they in the newsletter, they ma'am, they didn't put it correctly in the same. They just miscalculated, and they did some mistake in that, and they put it as 85 percentage. So he
Okay.
did ask them again to change it, because it's just mine, it's my own hard work of 79 percentage. So why should I just
Okay.
add it on, just because now I have reached this much heights in my life. So
That's
that
great. That's such a good
simplicity is something really
feedback.
amazed
Yeah,
me.
amazing, amazing. Such wonderful takeaways. When you hear someone who is in a very high position with that kind of humbleness and humility. That's what their personality is about. And when I was talking about, these are the things which counts in your aura, in your personality, and that's what people will get attracted to when you deliver the speech. So that's what I was talking about. Okay, Bhagirathi has typed something. She says, let me read it out. I was an introvert, so it was a bit difficult to socialize. That's why I lacked in that. But now it's easy because of Mr. Sundar Pichai. Yes, he is a great example. So it is, he admits that in front of the public, and he says that how what kind of a person he was growing up in India, and now he is heading a company. Which is known worldwide, right? And the kind of accomplishments he had. So this is something which is very noticeable and remarkable. If Sundar Pichai could do it, why not you, Bhagirathi? So I hope that one day I'll see your interviews and you will be addressing a large crowd. Hopefully, I'll be your audience one day. Yeah. So, yes, that's the spirit, girl. So go ahead and do it. You must give it a try.
My experience, it was not a famous personality, but rather a friend of mine who spoke in the school for the school people leader election. She
Okay.
gave a
Yeah.
speech that was very inspiring. I mean, it was very nice.
Oh, that's great. So you have a similar experience as of mine,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So yes, that happens. I could relate to it because I've been through that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, great, good points. Good to hear your stories. Anybody else who would like to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
During my childhood, around like fourth or fifth standard, I won't like to talk at all, ma'am. Like
Mhm.
not a kind of introvert, but I don't like to talk in public
Yes.
in front of many kind. But my mom would force me. She's a public speaker,
Hmm.
and she actually focuses on women empowerment.
Oh, that's great. Can we
So
have an applause for his mom? Let's have a big round of applause for his mom. Yes, go ahead, Vamsi.
what is like till that time I don't know like what is the importance of public speaking. Would it create an impact? Like everyone talks something blah 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 in a speech, and we just clap for them and go off. Till that time
Okay.
I would think that's it, what a speech or speaking means on
Hmm.
stage. But
Okay.
once when I heard my mom speaking over a large stage where like the whole school around 500 members is a capacity during that made
Hmm.
for all higher secondary members in the school. So when my mother was like my mom was like going to each and every group of students, and she'll be speaking with them and all. So when
Yeah.
she does like that, I was actually we small children were not allowed to come. But
Hmm.
since I've been I openly said to my mom that this public speaking and all ways, since no one pays attention to us like that. I said, then she took me and made me to sit over there. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
that moment I felt like wow, is this what a public speaking is like? The way my mom created the aura over there, like everyone was shouting, and
Yes. Yes.
like yeah, that's a true incident, and everyone was shouting out of goosebumps.
Oh,
And that
that's
moment
such a beautiful incident. Yes. Go ahead. Yes,
that
Vamsi.
moment I felt like, oh, whoa, this is the impact that a public speaker could make. So it isn't compared of total public speaking. It is the way the speaker delivers what he want to speak. from that moment, I've been taking help of my mom and got into public speaking.
That's great, Vamsi. Such an inspiring story you have. From the day when you had no faith in public speaking and used to make fun of it, and till today that you too are someone who is inspired by your mom's speech and the way you narrated that incident, how it gave goosebumps to all the audience who were sitting out there and and were listening to her. So that's the kind of impact you have of public speaking. It's not just about giving a speech that people will forget. I always tell whenever I go, have a speech, deliver a speech where you leave an impact in the minds of people. Either you win their hearts or you inspire them, and that is what you have done. And that is what will stay for a long time, right? So that's the kind of speakers we would be seeing in the future, and I'm pretty sure that you all will be amazing speakers in the days to come. Okay, so we have one more participant. It's Xavier, who says, I was inspired by the speech of Kim Namjoon from BTS at the UN. The line that got me was, love yourself and speak yourself. Such an inspiring personality. That's great. So the point which I'm trying to make over here is when you exactly hear someone out and they have an impact on you, you carry something from them, you take away something from them. Maybe it's a line, or maybe it's something that they spoke and it rings in your mind again and again. So that is the kind of I would say impact or the impression that a public speaker could create, right? Like here Xavier has mentioned that love yourself and speak yourself was something that he has taken away from that speech of Namjoon, Kim Namjoon, right? So yes, that happens with all of us. I was inspired. Then Shalini has written, I was inspired by the speech of DGP, Mr. Sailendra Babu sir, ma'am. That's great, Shalini. Would you mind switching on your mic and sharing your story to us in detail? Would love to hear you, Shalini, if you could come and, narrate your story.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. I was studying in 11th standard. My school having an annual day program, ma'am. That day, Sailendra Babu sir is a chief guest for our function,
Okay.
and he gave a big speech, ma'am, in front of our school members. It was more inspiring and motivating all of us, and we inspiring and all the thing positive vibes, ma'am, from his till the end from his speech, ma'am. It was very inspiring us, and we people not well in English, ma'am. We are aided school, so
Mm-hmm.
we are not well in English. Starting Sailendra Babu sir speak in English. He was started a speech to English.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he asked us whether I want to speak in English or Tamil. What do you want, guys? We said Tamil, sir. And then he said, why you are what you are afraid for speaking English? Come friend, anyone want to speak in English, just 2 lines, please come from, I will give you a prize. Nobody in our school members went from go from in front of
Yes.
him, ma'am. But only other person I went, ma'am,
Mm.
because I don't know English clear cut, but I want to give anything, just one word or just one line. It's my opportunity to explore my
Yes.
talent or anything, my confident or anything. So I went, ma'am, and he said, it's a give a big applause to her. He honored me, ma'am. It's a first thing we have want to be
Yes.
confident in
Here, I think,
anywhere.
uh,
For,
yes.
after that only all the skills will come follow up us. first we have confident, and we have the skill in anything, any matter. Means first we have confident is the key point for that. So you guys are all having confident, I think. So please come after me, following me. Many of them come front and give two
Yes.
line, one line, just hello sir, hi sir. So that time what I realized, ma'am, nothing is impossible or nothing is difficult to us. Everything is easy whenever when we get confident and interest to that thing.
Yes.
That
Yes.
that is one big thing, ma'am. But still I'm
Yes.
not in well in English, ma'am, speaking, but I'm trying
But
to
a heads
give
off to
my
you,
speech
girl.
in English.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want to make a point over here that even though we all have this perception when when we are not great at something, we'll have to take
yes,
a baby step, or the stepping stone, the first step towards your journey, towards the success.
yes,
And that's very important, that you have the courage and the guts to come forward and speak, even though you have got some feedbacks that you are not great in it, right? You are still trying, and
yes.
that's what matters. So one day you will master for sure. I assure you that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you
So
so much,
thank you
ma'am.
so much, Shalini, for coming out and sharing your story. And I'm pretty sure that the DGP whom you are talking about, so he must have remembered you, if not for a long period of time, at least for a while. The first girl who came in front of him with the courage and met him. So that's
Yes, ma'am.
shows up about and talks about you. So give it a try, students, give it a try, children. That's what I want. That's the only message I have for you. For sure, you might not master this art of public speaking. It's a huge ocean. The deeper you go in it, the more you explore the different skills, the different styles. Maybe you will develop your own style over the period of time, right? And tomorrow you will be giving a session or seminar. But what I want you all to do is to dive into the ocean of this public speaking thing, and then you will see the charisma, the magic happening to you. It's worth your journey. It's worth your effort. Trust me. Yeah. So yes, great. Good to hear all your stories. Any other stories? If you have, I would love to hear. If not, if you have any questions related to public speaking, anything that you want to ask me, I'll be happy to address your questions.
Ma'am, I have a story, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Nanita, go ahead. I would love to hear.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I was
Yes,
inspired by the speech of Malala Yousafzai. She
yes.
was born in Pakistan. Um, I don't know. When she was studying in ninth standard, she was
Hmm.
the terrorism team shot her on her forehead,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
she admitted in the hospital, and the whole world prayed for her. But
Yes.
she recovered from that. Then she gave a speech in the UNICEF.
Yes.
She said, I would like to say the line: one pen, one picture, one
Yes. Yes.
child,
Can
one
change the
hope
world. Yeah.
can change the world.
Yes.
Later, I thought that, yeah, it is right. And I was
Correct.
inspired by the linesman. Thank you, ma'am.
So true. Like this incident happened when she rebelled, and then she became a public figure overnight because of her courageous act against the Taliban group, right? So that time I was a teenager, which who was in 11, class 11. I still remember, and Malala was 13 at that point in time. So I said, like, she is just 13, and I am someone who is 3 4 years elder to her, and I am just stunned by the kind of courage this girl has. And even she was an inspiration to me at that point in time. That. The way she went ahead and spoke, whether it's in the UN or whether it's the kind of acts she did. that point during that period because she believed in what she is doing, right? And that's very much important that you believe in what you are doing. So thank you so much, Ganita, for sharing your, sorry, Nanita, for sharing your story.
Ma'am, it's like a question.
Yes, Vaishnavi, yeah.
Like whenever I used to give a speech in school or in front of class, though I remember the whole speech, I always had this constant fear of what if I forget any lines or what I was
Yes.
about to speak. That was something that was, and that is still there,
Yeah,
even if I
that
have to
that
do it again.
happens with everyone, even the great speakers. I'll tell you the secret behind, not the secret, but the person I've observed over the years and have come to the conclusion and have come to the conclusion. So when I was a kid, even I had this phobia of what if I forget? What if I forget my lines? So what we do is we prepare a script and we expect that we are going to deliver the script that we have prepared exact word by word, comma by comma, and full stop by full stop. But when you appear, that's what I always ask my students not to follow. Do not prepare a script that you are going to deliver. Prepare your script, take notes. Always think of the content that you are going to deliver. What is the overall summary? What is, the heart of your speech? What exactly it is? And then deliver it in your own language. Speak your heart out, not the script that you have prepared, right? So when you develop this art of delivering your speech in your own language, that's where you master the arts of public speaking, because the more pressure you have of delivering the speech the way you have prepared in your script, or the way you have written in your script, word by word, full stop by full stop, comma by comma, the more pressure you will have, and then there is more chance of you forgetting your lines. Right. So when you don't have a script, you know what you are going to deliver, and you have the confidence that you can mold that in your way whenever required. That's where you will get this belief and confidence, and it
Thank
will
you.
happen eventually when when you do it over and over again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Hope this answers your question.
Yes,
Any
ma'am,
other
definitely.
question?
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Any other questions we have, children?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it's
can
not a
I
question.
go ahead with my?
Yes, so we have two people who unmuted themselves, Bhagirathi and Anand. So, Anand, I'll come back to you. Let me hear Bhagirathi. Hope that is okay.
Ma'am, it's not a question. It's like what I've learned. It's like
Yes,
even if you get embarrassed by something when you speak,
yes,
try to manage yourself to complete it with your knowledge, not
correct.
by the script. It's like by something which is relevant to you, which is which is not
Yes,
particularly in the script. So
yes. So
the,
true, Bhagirathi. I totally agree with you. Yes. What happens is that if we forget those lines, we just stop in there in front of the audience because we don't know what the next line is. So what? Create your own lines. You have rehearsed the script again and again. You know what you are going to talk about. Skip that line. What is there that you have forgotten? Just talk about the next paragraph that you have prepared for, right? Or talk about something you know, at least something about. Let's say that you are going to deliver a speech on Mahatma Gandhi's life, right? So you know something about that person. So what if you forgot the 11th line, which was there after 10th line? So what? Start from the 12th line or talk about his life that you recall. Whatever comes to your mind, just go ahead with the flow and do not get stuck. And even if you get stuck, even if you get humiliated in the public, I would still urge you to face the crowd again because that's where you will become confident. I'll tell you one incident of mine. I was, by that time, I was a very good speaker in my school and in my high school and college. But there was one time when I had to appear an extempo and I had no clue about the topic, literally no clue. But I thought, okay, still I'll give it a try. So our extempo was like that. I was given 10 minutes to prepare to search about the topic and then deliver. I had no idea that there was such term which exists in the world. What I did, I researched, I googled, I prepared some script, and then I went on and deliver. I think after my fifth or sixth line, I just forgot. I was blank. And what I did is I stopped there for a while. And then I just simply concluded saying, this is all I know about this topic, and this is all I could figure out in this point in time. And that's where I would like to conclude. That's all. I felt so embarrassed, and the people in the audience had so much of expectation from me. My professor went on and spoke to me. What happened to you, Ipsita? This has never happened in a decade, or I've never seen you, completing your speech. But after that I didn't stop. So of course that was a topic about which I had no knowledge. I did not know much, and I couldn't do much research about that topic because I had less time in my hand. So but that didn't stop me. Next time when I went on to the stage, I was more confident because I was not afraid about the rejection. I was not afraid about the perception of people. And I was also not afraid about the judgment. I was not even afraid about the humiliation because I was already humiliated, right? So that's what I would, urge you all to do. Even if you stop, even if you couldn't complete your speech, that's all okay. That happens with everyone. We all have been through it. Nothing to worry about. Just go ahead and do it. Yeah. Yes, Anand. So sorry, I took a little bit of time. Yeah, you had some question, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Janani, and can I go ahead with my story, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. My inspiration was Kim Namjoon, of course, ma'am, like someone has said.
Mhm.
And I was inspired by the way he influenced the youth of the world. And he asked the youth to speak themselves and do what they wish and to love themselves, first of all. So
Yes.
he also quoted that failures are a part of growing. So we should not be ashamed of failures or get scared and stay away from the growth process of growth. And
So
he
true.
also said, and he also said that an expert in anything was once a beginner. So that was when I thought I'm now a beginner and someday I can be an expert. That is my
So
ultimate
true. So
inspiration. Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
yes. All the best, Janani, and I'm sure you will be an expert one first step and enrolling yourself in the beginner level. So that's all it requires.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much.
for sharing the beautiful story that you had. And I believe that brings us to the end of our session. But yeah, anyone else? Does anyone of you want to say anything? Do we have our Banu? Are we done? I believe that.
Yes, ma'am. I guess I'm just waiting for if they have some more doubts. Maybe after that, I'll continue with mine.
Okay. So if you have any more doubts, I'll be happy to address it. Uh, and yeah, you can also share your stories.
Ma'am, I'm Lalita. I'm going
Yes,
to share
Lalita.
my story.
Yes.
I used to hear a podcast of Sadhguru.
Mm-hmm.
So once I heard uh, how to always make a right decision.
Hmm.
So this is even in my life. I used to make right decisions. I always think what I'm making is right or wrong. After hearing this, that i- if we are taking any decision, we don't want to think that it is a right or wrong,
Yeah.
because everyone have their own opinion that this is right and this is wrong. So we want to make sure that what we are doing is that we needed it or not. That's it. So
Correct. So, were you inspired, or at least you were affected by the lines of Sadhguru?
I didn't remember the lines, exact lines, but
Oh, I mean, at least he had some sort of impact through his words, right? Because you related to what he is speaking. Right, Lalita? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to say, that you came across Sadhguru and you actually relate to his words because, as you said, that that's what you picked up from his lines, that your decisions are your decisions, and it is neither right or neither wrong, because for some people it will be right, for some people it will be wrong, and that's all okay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So glad and happy to hear your story, Lalita. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank
Do we
you.
have any other stories? Do we have any other questions?
Ma'am, one more question.
Yes, please
Like
continue.
I used to listen to many speeches, and
Mm.
those people like really had very rich vocabulary. The speech, the
Yeah.
words they use, the way
Yes.
they express was very good. But like I was wondering, like how much importance does vocabulary have in our speeches? The words we use, and
Yes. I won't say that vocabulary does not have much importance. It certainly does have, but it is not the entire, part of your script. It just holds some percentage in it. It has its own weightage, right? But when you it is more about how you communicate rather than what you communicate, right? So the how part plays the, I would say, it has more importance than the what part. So yes, the same thing which one can communicate with a rich vocabulary could be communicated in simpler words. And you know what, when you address people who come from diverse backgrounds, who do not have that much of vocabulary to understand that rich vocabulary, who does not have that much of exposure, and they do not know all those words, for them it's a blessing to hear a speaker who could use simpler words and communicate the same thing. So I won't say that using fancy words or having rich vocab is always a plus point. Certainly it is not. It's all about using how simply you can communicate a thing, and in what way you are communicating, how you are communicating. That's what is more important, right? You need to connect and touch with people. The moment you establish that connection, that's where you become a good speaker, an excellent speaker.
yes, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So if I tell you something which uses a word which you are not aware of, he was like Amitabh Bachchan has a baritone voice. He was an extraordinary personality. He had he's someone who is known as the Recon of India, and all those things which I say about this personality. You do not understand what a baritone is. You do not understand what outstanding means. You do not understand what Recon means. And then, will you be able to connect to what I'm speaking? Because half of the terms you don't understand. Let's say, just a hypothetical example, but it's way better if I communicate the same thing with simpler words, which you connect to or relate to. So that's where you will connect to what I'm speaking. I would say that using simple words and communicating is way better than using some fancy vocabs.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it has some weightage, but it's not, uh, the only thing in public speaking skill. Okay. So great. Then, any other
Any other
questions?
questions?